some key differences in these ETFs between GameStop and AMC. So I did the math thanks to the help from a lot of you yesterday with the Excel experience. But basically, the sum of all market value for all of these holdings in all of the ProShares ETFs specifically is 66.5 billion, and the total number of holdings is 15,449 total holdings. Now this is across the board between leveraged, inverse, synthetic, you name it. This is every ETF that ProShares has. That is the totals as far as market share value and number of holdings. So leveraged ETFs, to reiterate, should get their leverage from options and futures, and synthetics typically get their leverage from derivatives and swaps. Now I wanted to go through each of these because for GameStop we have 3: SAA, Anu, and RALs. Those are the 3 ProShares ETFs with GameStop. Then we have UWM, URTY, and HDG for the AMC ETFs. Now look at these differences real quick. So this is AMC. Of course we have HDG, which is a hedge replication ETF. These are all according to Fintel. Now notice, Blackrock Liquidity Fedfund is in all 3, as well as very similar setup for repurchase agreements and total return swaps. Seems to be about an even number. We have 3 return swaps here, 3 repurchase agreements. We have 5 return swaps here, 4 repurchase agreements. Then we have 5 repurchase agreements here, and then 4 swaps. So, or other way around, 4 repurchase agreements and 5 swaps. So keep that in mind. And this is HDG. This is the only synthetic one. This is the leverage 3 times, and then this is the leverage 2 times. You can see it doesn't matter if it's synthetic or not. They're still using these swaps, and not only that, it's the top 10 holdings in all 3. And then there's the Blackrock Liquidity Fedfund involved as well. Now look at GameStop. No Blackrock Liquidity Fedfund in any of these. We only have 1 leveraged, and we have 1 equity ETF, and we have 1 synthetic, but the synthetic has no repos, or it has repos, but no swaps and no Fedfund. So while AMC had Liquidity Fedfund, and you see a mix of swaps and repos in all of them, GameStop in this one just has repos in the synthetic and no Fedfund and no swaps. Now in SAA, top 10 holdings, literally all swaps, all repurchase agreements. Again, no Fedfund. Same thing for Anu, no Fedfund. And this one doesn't even have swaps or Fedfund. This just looks like a normal ETF holding. And it's weird because this one is a MSCI Transformational Changes ETF, so that's very specific. So basically, when you take all this into account, these differences, I'm not sure what's going on here. It just confuses me even more, but I wanted to bring them up that we need to start looking into this because this Fedfund literally is like a sidearm of the Fed. And while they're included here, why aren't they included here? And why is the breakdown different? You know what I mean? So why do we have GameStop in an equity ETF, but then the Fedfund's nowhere to be found? It just doesn't make sense to me. And if you're wondering what the Fedfund is, it's very odd. It's, of course, BlackRock, and it's specifically named a liquidity Fedfund, right? Specifically by BlackRock. And their holdings involve tons and tons and tons of treasury stuff. So I don't know what's going on, but it's weird to me that GameStop doesn't have the Fedfund and AMC does. So I'm going to look into that more and try to figure out what's going on.